Hey everybody, Bob here. In this video I'm going to show you the basic weekly administration tasks that a league administrator will go through once their league has been set up, and now you're in the middle of the season and you're doing things each week to get ready for your league. This video is updated for 2021 because many changes have been made since the last video that I made about 3 or 4 years ago. Okay, so I've got a league here that is 16 players, individual play, and I have it set up for match play, 2 points per hole, and 2 points for the low net score between the two opponents. Really common format, simple to play. And so after I've got my schedule created for the week, so I'd go up here and go to Administration and Scorecards. And then Print Scorecards. And I'm going to pick my round, and I'll choose Generate Scorecards, and then set my options, and then I would go and print my scorecards onto cardstock. I bought some cardstock last year that is perforated right in the center and makes it great. You can just tear it right in half. So I'd go and print my cards and hand them out, and now my players go and play their round and hand the cards in afterwards. Or you could use the live scoring option on Golf League Tracker. And so now it's time to enter my scores for the week. So I go to Administration, and under Weekly Admin, I go to Enter Scores and Points. I choose my round, and so this shows you kind of an overview of what you've done so far. So it lists each group and the tee time, and whether or not you've entered scores for that group, and whether or not points have been recorded for that group. Now you can also do things like turn on player numbers and player names, and now you can see the groups right here on the screen. And the first thing I would do is go in here, and under Action, I'm going to click Enter Edit Scores for group number 1. So this lists which players are playing. If you had subs using the sub reservation feature, the sub will be selected here. Otherwise, you could choose the sub from the sub list. It lists the tee box that the player is assigned to, because this generally, depending on what your handicap settings are, this may affect the course handicap for the player. Whether or not this handicap column, this determines whether or not the score will be included in the handicap calculation. Generally, this is going to be left on. Then, in this case, we're playing gross and net skins. I have this set up for two different methods, which is why one has a checkbox and one has a dollar amount. You can check out my skins videos to understand how that works. But I can override the skins values here. Maybe if this player got into skins and Lisa Simpson and Tiger Woods got into skins for $2 a player, I can go and override that amount in here, and that will tell the system, hey, those 3 players are in the gross skins competition, and maybe they're not in net skins, so I'm going to uncheck net skins. So it's just a matter of entering the score hole by hole. You can click on this Auto Advance checkbox up here, and this makes it so that when you type a score, you'll notice my cursor automatically jumps to the next score box. So it makes it really quick to enter scores this way. And then we get down to the end, and I can hit my tab key. It takes me back over to the player and the tee box, all these other settings for skins, and I can tab all the way back to the first hole, and now just enter the scores as written on the card. So I'm going to go and enter this, and really the administration section in Golf League Tracker is optimized, so the only thing that's going to slow you down is your typing ability, really. And I use the number pad on my keyboard, and that just makes it even quicker to enter scores. So we're going to enter some scores here. All right. And once I'm done, I can do 2 or 3 things. I can exit, so I can hit save and exit. And this will take me back to the main matchup screen where it shows me now that the scores have been entered. So let me go back in here. If I made a mistake, I can go and enter or edit the scores. So I'm going to go back in. Let's pretend I just entered this this scorecard. Now I can also go and save and record points. When I click on save and record, it's going to go and calculate the points based on my league settings for this scorecard. So I'm going to click on that. And it again takes me back to my main screen. And now you'll see that also points are recorded for that. Recording points locks in the points for that scorecard at this moment in time. And that way, if you go and change your point settings later in the season, these points for this particular scorecard will not change from the new settings because of the new settings. Now let's go back into, I'm going to clear the points. So you'll notice as I progress on a scorecard, some different options appear here. Now that I have points recorded, I can clear the points. And now they are no longer recorded. When there's a scorecard entered, I can delete an entire scorecard. I'm not going to do that right now, but they'll clear the entire scorecard. Or I can go and re-record the points. Now let me go back into here, into edit and score, enter and edit scores. And the other button in here is save and override points. Similar to save and record points, save and record automatically records the points based on my league settings. If I click on save and override, it will go and calculate those points, but it's going to give me the opportunity to override the calculated points in the system. So now you'll notice I have the matches are 5 to 15 and 11 to 9. Maybe you grant a point for winning closest to the pin, for instance. So I can just go and type in the number of points here and award that player an extra point or whatever your rule is. And now when I click record points, these values are going to be saved for each player. So I'll click on record points, and again, points are recorded. And when I look in my league standings, all right, so I overrode this player here. They had 11 points calculated, but I overrode it and gave them 12. And so you'll now see that that player has 12 points. So I'm going to go back into enter scores and points. And I'll go back to round 1. Now as I enter scores, I'm just going to enter a couple more scorecards here. I'm just making stuff up here. I'm not following any scorecard that I have in front of me. I'm just going to click save and record points. For my league anyway, that's going to happen almost every time. I really don't have any special rules in my league, my personal leagues, where I override points, but I do know many leagues that do. So I'll click on save and record. And again, I can go to stats and league standings. And now you'll see all 6 players in here. Now the skins look kind of funky because only a couple players are entered in skins. For example, Adam Sandler is the only player in net skins at this point. So he's won every skin. So if I go back to administration, enter scores and points. And so you can do a couple other things. You can enter comments for this round, and this will appear on the league standings screen. So I can click on enter comments, and then my comments go here and save. I can also click on review scores, and it will show all the scores that I currently have entered. I can click on details, and it'll show me hole by hole. So I can view everybody all at once for that round. Now, if a player doesn't have a handicap, you cannot record points. So what you'll do is come back in here. Let's say you have your league set up to require 2 rounds before a handicap is established. After you enter the second week scores, you'll come back to week number 1 and go in here and do record points. And then you'll see that that player and all the players have handicaps established. There's our calculated points, and then we can just click on record points, and they will be set. I'm going to enter the last scorecard. Now again, we could pick a sub. I just have some fake subs entered in here. Do I want to change the player? Yes. And then it changed the tee box for that player. And again, we'll just enter anything. And we're going to save and record points. And I can go back to stats and league standings. And I'm done. I've entered, 10 player scores in a few minutes. Handicaps, I have automatic handicap calculation turned on, which it's turned on by default, so you don't have to do anything with that. And then skins are calculated automatically based on who you have entered into the skins game. So all I had to do was make sure the people that played were chosen on the score sheet, and then I entered their scores hole by hole. Everything else was calculated all automatically, and I'm done for the week. All right, so let me know if you have any questions, and we'll talk to you later.